What's up you guys, it's 2Bricks and I'm back with the next installment of my Harry Potter building series where we are slowly going to be assembling a playset scale Hogwarts castle that I would consider to be an Ultimate Collector's Series rendition of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Now, if you guys didn't see, last week I kicked off the series with a video featuring the boathouse, which is the first kind of port of call, literally, for the students of Hogwarts when they begin their journey. And this week I'm kind of jumping around a little bit because I have this creature design, and a lot of you guys had asked during the stream last time, will there be creatures involved in this project? Because, you know, Lego does give us a nice mix of molded creatures and brick-built ones, and of course the answer to that is yes, there will be creatures involved, because you know, part of the fun of Hogwarts is all of the weird beasts and things that roam around the castle. So I thought that since I had this designed as I'm in the midst of creating the Chamber of Secrets set, I would show you guys my rendition of the Basilisk. I'll also be comparing it to some of the other Lego creatures as far as just to give you a scale comparison, and we'll be taking a look at it next to the most recent official Lego Basilisk that came with the Great Hall set as well, just for a scale comparison, and you guys can get a sense of the features versus one versus the other directly. So stick around for that. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to get in and show you guys how this snake was built and what the you know, what the features are of it. Obviously there's not that many to take a look at, but you know, we'll take a look. And before I forget, the instructions for this are available for free. Check the description. There's a link in there for my Rebrickable page, and you guys can get download the instructions and get the pieces and build your own Basilisk in anticipation of the Chamber of Secrets arriving sometime in the near-ish future. All right, so yes, really that is it for the rambling. Let's get on to the video and take a look at the snake up close. Alright, so first of all I wanted to give you guys a look at the scale comparison to some of the relevant items that you're probably going to want to have in any Chamber of Secrets scene that you're setting up. So here we have the Basilisk next to Harry pulling the Sword of Gryffindor out of the Sorting Hat. We have Tom Riddle's diary and Fawkes the Phoenix. We still don't have a Fawkes the Phoenix figure in flight. Try saying that 5 times faster. So I'll just show you guys with the comparison to an owl here, which has the open spread wings. You can kind of get the idea. If you guys remember in the scene, you know, Fawkes flies in and attacks the Basilisk, so I think that all scales pretty well. And I think if you were to unfurl the snake to its full length, which is supposed to be in universe something like 60 feet, I think that you'll see that it actually scales really well next to the figures. So I think putting Harry here at the head, I think if you remember the scenes where the Basilisk is crawling down the tunnels and stalking after Harry, it does scale pretty much exactly to minifigure scale, I would say. So that works out pretty well. I think that that's what you want from your figures, right? You want them to feel like they scale appropriately. And I think that this does the job of that. So let's take a look at this compared to some other molded creatures and things that we've gotten from the series so far. All right, you guys, so here is the Basilisk in its kind of ready to attack, coiled up position. It's obviously even still curled up like this, it's still taller than Grawp the Giant. It's obviously dwarfing also the Centaur and the Hippogriff and you know, Harry's Patronus here, and a, what do you call these again? A Thestral. So yeah, obviously all these guys much smaller, which is as it should be. And you can see that the Basilisk has that nice fat head on it, so it really does capture that kind of almost more eel-like look of the movie prop. So I think that works out really well, and I'm really happy with how the snake can stand up completely unaided like this, in a really dynamic pose. There's no studs holding this down or anything, and it's able to hold that pose. So I really like that about it. Okay, so obviously you guys can see that this snake is built in segments with the ball jointed body, which is actually, you know, very similar to the way that the official Basilisk was done for the Great Hall set, using the same Mixel style ball joints. My one has a different color scheme to it, and I tried to have a little bit of an evolution through the body, where, so you can see here that it has the full studded back here, and then it goes to half. Actually, this should be switched. 1 second, switch that around. I'm a stickler for these kind of things, so can't believe that I let that go. So yeah, you have this pattern going down this section of the body where it's just got 1 row of studs and then a tile, just to give it like the feel, like I said, that it's its body is changing as it goes from head to tail. It just doesn't feel consistent. And then as we get back into this section, you can see that we get to the thinner tail segments, and then the underbelly color starts to blend more with the sand green. And then we just have the little cone on the end here to kind of give it a nice little sharp snake-like tail. So that works out pretty well. It has the glowing yellow eyes that you would expect, given the description of it and also what we see in the movie. It has the opening and closing jaws right here, which took me a little while to figure out how to actually attach these in a way that I could get the two tooth representation pieces here of these clip pieces to line up, you know, top and bottom when the mouth is closed. A lot of times you end up with an unsightly underbite or overbite, and I just really wanted it to have a decent look for when it's open or closed, and so I think that works out pretty well. It's got the kind of nice bulked up jaw shaping here with these relatively new slope pieces with the angle cut out, and then you got the wedge plates in here that just kind of complete the shape. It's got the kind of the way that it gets really thin at the front, which is what reminds me of an eel. That kind of that kind of shape. That's one way to kill a basilisk. Yeah, where it gets really narrow, and then you get the fatter section back here, and it's got these kind of like horned sections, or like armor plating almost on the back of its head. So I've just tried to represent as much of that as I could, and I think that, you know, overall it really does the trick. I think you definitely know, if that was coming down the tunnel at you, you'd know that that was the basilisk from Harry Potter. I do wish that Lego had like a sand dark green. That would be really perfect to represent the color of this. By the way, I think I like the look of this most when the jaws are open, so I tend to keep it open. But yeah, I think if there was like a slightly darker version of sand green that wasn't so saturated as regular green, but wasn't quite as light as this, that would be absolutely perfect. But, you know, we work with what we have, and I think that this definitely does the trick. I like it a lot better than black or gray, because even though the scenes were very dark and desaturated in the movie, the actual like prop does have a fair bit of color to it. So I like to represent that as much as I can, because, you know, if I give you something dark and then you put it in a dark scene, it's going to be even darker, and it just kind of, everything just keeps getting less and less colorful. So I like to have a little bit of color in my builds, because, you know, Lego's bright and fun, and that's kind of one of the things we like about it. So yeah, so there is the Basilisk build. Let's do a quick comparison to the official Lego one. All right, and here's the official build side by side with mine. Obviously you can see right away size difference, not that size is everything, but the official one that came in the Great Hall set is way shorter, so it just makes it a lot harder to pose it in any kind of, you know, realistic snake-like way. It does, like I said, it has the same idea with the ball joints. Obviously each segment of the body is much thinner, so it has this very kind of flattened look to it. This almost kind of reminds me of like a road-killed snake, with just how flat that body is. The front here, you do have the opening jaws. They can open, both sides can open top and bottom, which is, I guess, kind of realistic to how snakes really are. I think they can do that. They can dislocate their jaws, but this doesn't really do it for me. The wideness of the head and the hugeness of the fangs and how you can't really close the mouth just feels a little bit awkward in certain ways. They did try to get some of that shaping in there again with the kind of armor plating on the head, and you have the yellow eyes in there, which is just these two trans yellow studs. You know, it's fine for a much smaller rendition of it, and I think one that isn't intended to be minifig scale or realistic. It's just meant to be a big snake that you can place into your scene, and I think if you just, you know, if you remember the scene, you remember the snake rearing up like this and lunging towards Harry and, you know, near missing, and then at the end of the scene, obviously, when the thing falls down dead, you have this big dramatic swoop down, and I just feel like you want to be able to get all of these contorted shapes with this that you can get with just having more body sections. It just gives you more freedom, right? So you can really do a lot more stuff with it. So that's one of the things that I really wanted to achieve with this, and I just think if you look at the shaping of the head overall, like, I mean, this kind of looks like a snake, kind of also looks like a shark to me. But I think as a replica of the movie prop, you know, I think I've tried to capture it a lot better in my one. So that's that. Yeah, obviously I don't like to compare to other people's work. I don't like to be negative, and I'm not trying to disparage Lego. I know that they have very, very strict parts budgets and things that they have access to that they can build with for their sets, so, you know, never going to dig at a Lego designer. Those guys are incredible and they do an amazing job. And we MOC makers are free to just do whatever we want, so obviously it's never going to be an apples to apples comparison. So, but yeah, there are the two snakes side by side, just so you can get an idea if that's something that you want to go ahead and build for yourself. So there we are. Alright guys, so there is your look at the Lego MOC Basilisk for my Hogwarts build series. Since I don't have the statue of Salazar Slytherin to show you guys right now, Harry's just going to stand atop the night bus to fight the snake to give him a little bit more of a height advantage. So there you go. Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and grab the instructions to build this, like I said, it's down in the description. Downloading the instructions and ordering the parts from Rebrickable is a super smooth and easy process, and they help you to order all the parts you need. Bricklink as well is a great option for just being able to upload. You can literally take the digital file, drop it into Bricklink, and they will say, here are the orders that you need, here's the cheapest price that is available, and you just click order. So it's really great. I'm actually in the middle of doing that process right now to get the pieces for the Great Hall set and the other things that I'll be showing you guys next. So once those parts arrive, I'll be able to put those together and show you guys the next phase of my Hogwarts build. But for now, just go ahead and enjoy letting your little basilisk loose on all the students, and they can get chased around until the Chamber of Secrets is available for it to go and slither back into. So thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate it. If you didn't see episode 1, check out the playlist. All these are going to be going into the Harry Potter build series playlist, and you guys can follow along the progress. Even if you're not going to build the sets, you can see Hogwarts grow you know, bigger and bigger every week, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.